Alright, gun people. That's pretty good of, I know I got a lot of shit because I picked on that cop that cut his finger jumping the fence. Oh, I'm sorry. He was shot in the shoulder and released from the hospital. So it was a pretty bad shot, and he couldn't move his legs, and he was having his partner drag him around. He couldn't get his gun out. He kind of immediately went into shock, is what it appears. Or some people are accusing me of not recognizing that, you know, it can be scary. And look, you got to stay and fight. All right? Been in accidents, been bit by dogs, been in lots of fights, had guns pulled, knives pulled. You got to stay in a fight. You can't just give up. So I know there's going to be people out there, man, you can't talk because you ain't never been shot. You can't say what happens, and it's not fair. And only I know because I've been shot. It doesn't matter who it is. Nobody knows what's going to happen until they do it. But you can evaluate and learn from when people don't do things and stay in a fight and have a good mindset. And it's a learning opportunity. I'm not cracking on the guy per se that he's a bad dude. I'm just saying, why aren't they teaching and hiring more meat eaters? Why aren't they get people who are in a fight? Why are you walking around a corner from a guy that just shot somebody at a Home Depot and you walk out in the open and then somehow are surprised when he shoots at you and you don't even have your freaking gun out? But anyway, you people can cry about that all you want. This is another good example of staying in a fight. This guy, I think, is a deer in headlights and kind of freezes up. He seems very nervous. Takes a while to rack around in the AR. And this guy is definitely in control. This happens in South Africa. They're doing a cash money transport, and these guys try to rob him. And this guy driving is like, he's on it, man. He don't give up. I mean, they both have vests on, and it appears the windows are bulletproof because the bullets don't come through. But, man, this guy stays in the fight. He doesn't just pull over and go, oh, they shot out my window. I have to stop. And I have to stop. All right, here we go. Okay, so it starts off pretty odd, and their immediate reaction is pretty interesting. So there's the gunshots. This guy's kind of like, sounds like gunshots. This guy immediately he's trying to figure out, he's looking in the mirror, figuring it out. This guy's looking. He immediately starts his aggressive driving. This guy almost goes in what I call sometimes the fetal position. It's that protective position that, oh shit, I don't really know what to do. So you end up stalling and trying to figure out what my next course. This is what I talk about lag time. This guy's lag time is much more than this guy. This guy had a little bit of lag time, like what the hell was that? And then he got in a fight and started reacting. This guy is still in lag time because he's trying to formulate a plan. And it could be a little bit because he's not driving. But you know what? He's got guns in the car. Why ain't his gun out? I mean, I can't tell you the number of times I heard gunfire and my gun came out. I mean, I reach for my gun to this day. If I hear a big boom, my arm automatically goes back instinctively to draw. I still unhook my seatbelt before I approach an address or anywhere. My seatbelt comes off probably 40 or 50 feet before I get there. It is, and I don't think about it. It just happens because I've done it for so many years. So it has become muscle memory. So this guy's lag time's a little longer.
Okay.
He's still kind of not doing much. He's getting gunshots here, and he's starting to drive. He's in the fight. So again, this guy's kind of looking around. He finally gets his gun out.
What's the gun? This gun?
Now, I heard a click there, and I'm assuming he didn't have a round in the chamber. So it sounds like he put a round in the chamber there. I could be wrong.
Okay. What's the gun?
Okay, it does look like he just racked the round. So he put a round in the chamber, or he panicked and he ejected a round and he wasted a round and put a new round in. If he carries around the chamber, he shouldn't have to rack it. If he doesn't, that's why he racked it. But I've seen people rack their gun with a round in chamber. If you put them under stress on a range, they're just in their mind somehow they want to check or make sure there's a round in the chamber, and they'll rack around. And I'm like, why'd you rack around? I don't know. I go, we don't train that way. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I said, you must know something because you consciously reached down, just racked around when you drew your gun. I don't know why I did it. And I have a feeling these are the people that go out and train on their own, and they set up bad habits, and they do things that becomes somewhat ingrained in them, and then when a crisis, it comes out. So he hands in a rifle, and he kind of holds it. I mean, it's a pretty nice rifle, too. It looks like he's got an ACOG on it, which is pretty nice. So at least they give these guys equipment. When he first picked this up, I was wondering, why didn't you rack around in that? I mean, again, I always carry my rifles without a round in the chamber. I always rack around in my rifles when I need it. Now, obviously, if I was going into a hostage situation or something, I'd have a round in the chamber, but I usually don't carry around in my rifles, but I always carry around in my pistols. So this guy's driving in the fight. This guy still hasn't racked around. His seatbelt's kind of off. If he's driving this way and got people shooting on him, maybe his seatbelt should be on better. Maybe he wants to take it off. I mean, I wouldn't take my seatbelt off now if I'm driving and trying to run, because if you crash, you're going to go in the windshield. There he goes, the round. So it took a long time, in my opinion, a long time. In his mind, it could have been very quick. But in my opinion, as soon as he handed him the rifle, it should have been get around in the freaking chamber. Now again, this guy is like, look, we're kind of sitting ducks. I can't really do much. I mean, he's not going to roll down the window and return fire. I don't think he's got a gun port. So he's kind of stuck to where I really can't do much. So I get that. This guy is actively involved, dodging, making decisions, looking. He's got more control over the situation. Why they give these guys standards, I don't know, man. I mean, if he wouldn't have to be shifting and freaking clutching to make all these turns, he'd probably be able to maneuver a little better.
Coming off that.
Man, that's got to be shitty. Now, both these guys start breathing hard. They're sucking oxygen. They're going in fight or flight. Totally reasonable. Hopefully, they've been trained on it and know that this is normal. And they can start thinking, I need to control my breathing. I need to take some deep breaths. I need to slow my breathing. I need to stop taking quick, shallow breaths like I'm panicking. This is all normal. I've got an adrenaline pump, and I got to work through this.
Coming off that.
So this guy's got a pistol in one hand, and he's got a rifle in the other. Rick, why are you laughing at him? I'm just saying. Either I'm going to be ready to engage my rifle or my pistol. I just don't think it's a good idea to have a pistol in one hand and a rifle in the other. I mean, if you're transitioning, I might be okay with that. But I just find it a little funny. Rick, you've never been... Shut up, freaking crybabies.
They're gonna shoot. They're gonna fucking shoot.
Man, they're taking a lot of rounds, and this bulletproof glass is working. That's gotta be a shit. You gotta feel like a freaking sitting duck in here. It's like, dude, let me out of this freaking bullet magnet so I can engage the enemy. But you know what? I mean, other people will say, hey, as long as you're saving a vehicle, just keep driving. I mean, this may be policy. This may be this guy's just thinking on his own. They do end up stopping at the very end, and he gets out with the long gun. And I don't know if that's because he crashes, because he didn't have a choice, or if that was a decision. Breathing hard, big breaths.
Fun, Robbie.
You notice he's kind of licking his lips a little bit too. When you go into fight or flight, your mouth dries up, and it shuts down your digestive system. So you know, you'll start licking your lips. You'll have dry lips. That's why when somebody's in a crisis, you always want to give them water after they're in a shooting or crisis, because they're going to have dry mouth. All their system kind of shuts down.
Run, Robbie. Run, Josh. Ask him where they are.
So, again, this guy not doing much, and this guy has to give him the rifle, has to tell him what to do. Now he has to give him a phone and say, call it in. The guy kind of still looks like he's got a deer in the headlights look. So, this guy, mental preparedness is much lower than this guy. But that could be a little bit, being fair, this guy is able to release adrenaline drive. He's actively engaged in the fight, and this guy is kind of stuck as an observer. So I don't know if he hit something or if he's being rammed here.
Fucking shoot him. He's natural.
So now it looks like he might be stuck. So now it's time to get out. Again, he's trying to get out in a hurry. Didn't do his seatbelt first. Wasn't muscle memory. He takes the long gun. Maybe that's why the guy had his pistol out. So he takes the long gun and is getting out. This guy's still on the phone. A lot of difference in these two guys' reactions. So pretty good little video to kind of show the fight or flight, how it goes, how shit can go down. Obviously, if you were in your car and you're getting sniped, you don't have bulletproof glass. So if you can't create distance or something, it may be better just to get the hell out of the car and start engaging the enemy. Again, if what you're competent, what you're capable of, do you have weapons accessible? I mean, I keep an AR in my car. I've got pistols in my car, so I can engage if I had to or fight my way out of something. A lot of people don't have that ability or they just don't do it. So good little thing on how it goes from just driving on one Sunday afternoon or whatever, you know, delivering your little thing that you've done 1,000 times and now you're taking rounds. So I thought this was a great little video. All right, we'll end that there.